All right, we're here at the Cave of Science, and we're looking at putting the QPO together for the one that's due next Friday. And we should have much of our work done already, but I wanted to go through and make sure you guys get some of the finer points here. All right, so here's the QPO itself, knowledge probe. This should be done already. Summarize what you know about light intensity and Earth-Sun geometry. Scientific knowledge, make sure you cite these MLA style and use the explore feature down here, which we have done before. The other thing you probably want to do on the first page here is go ahead and put your page numbers in. So it's insert page numbers, and we're going to put it in the lower right hand corner. Oops, let's see where we go. Page numbers, insert, and we'll do the lower right hand corner. And we've done this before also. So that really takes care of the first two here. Prediction, what affect the intensity of sunlight reaching the Earth if you change a couple things. The distance, well, it's fairly obvious what's going to happen there. And at the angle at which the sunlight strikes the Earth. We're into the approaching the winter solstice, and definitely you can tell that the sun is not very high in the sky right now. The investigation plan. The investigation plan is what you did on the two experiments. And part one here, you had a couple meter sticks, a vernier light probe, and a flashlight. And really in the investigation plan for part one, you're just going through and what you did there. And in part two, the effect of changing the angle, again, put down what we had and what the investigation plan there was. We had a flashlight, we had a protractor, and we had a piece of paper, and just describe what you did there. Nothing too, really too difficult to put together there. The observation, these are the two data tables from part one and part two. In part one, which is up here, you had the distance from the light source in centimeters, and then you had the intensity. And that was the distance from the light source was the x-axis, and the intensity was the y. The intensity has no units, and the distance from the light source is in centimeters. So that's only one table there. The second table was from part two, and this is where you had create a graph of the angle on the x-axis and 1 over the diameter on the y. So for the observation, really, you only have two data tables here. The data analysis. This is where you have the two graphs and the questions. So for part one, you had this graph that you created, and then you're going to answer this question, and you're going to answer B for part one. On the second graph, below the second graph, you need to answer question one. Excuse me, you already did that one. You need to answer question 3, and question 3A, 3B, 3C, and 3D. So those questions are answered right in that particular part there. So the data analysis, part one graph, a couple questions, part two graph, and the 3 or 4 questions which are there. Explanation should be nothing too different there. What affect the intensity reaching the Earth if you change the distance or the angle? It's pretty obvious even from your experimentation from above what's going to happen there. And again, what are the sources of error? What would you do differently? How confident? And these, same questions that you had on the previous QPO. A couple other things to keep in mind. Make sure you're consistent with the format of your type. Again, I would probably use a size of 12 New Times or Times New Roman. but be consistent. Keep it one color. And some of this material here, personal knowledge is fine. You know, once you do the investigation plan, you can get rid of this material here. This is just kind of guide you for what you need to do. So again, very similar to what we did before, and we're going to do a few more of these through the course of the year. And this one's pretty straightforward, not a whole lot going on in this one. Once you kind of get the data, it's pretty easy to put the rest of it together. So that's going to be there. I'll get this posted on Google Classroom, and we'll see you next time.